Well, a happy Easter from Liverpool FC. It's been a strange day. I feel like we should probably talk about how we felt before the game, because I feel like my head was a little bit scrambled by the very idea that we could have won the league today, and then the kind of popping of that by Arsenal earlier on. I've got Stu Wright and Andy Bell with me to talk about how Liverpool are 3 points away from the title on a very, very strange afternoon. How did you feel earlier on in the day, Stu?
Weird, because it was one of those, I didn't really want to win it today. And it's like a really privileged position to be in, isn't it? You know what I mean?
First world problems.
First world problems. Uptown problems. We shouldn't forget that, because this team have put us in a position where we've got these uptown problems. You know, we could win the title in April, and we're worried about where we're going to win it. But at the same time, if we'd have won it today, you know, tonight would have had a very different outlook than what it does now. So you kind of like all geared up for that. And then Arsenal do what they do, as expected. Yeah. And it just leaves you going into today's game where you're a little bit like you're going to a team who were terrible, by the way. I mean, Leicester are a terrible, terrible team. They're a blight on the history of the Premier League, I think.
May they never return.
May they never return. And so it just had a weird, flat feeling, and I think we saw that on the pitch as well. It had real pre-season vibes. The sun was shining. I'd like to I wanted to remind everyone on the pitch that, you know, we had an opportunity to send Leicester down, if nothing else, and that is only a good thing, a service to football. So it was a weird situation, and it only got weirder as Liverpool laboured against one of the worst teams the Premier League's ever seen. You know, the champions elected, because that's what we are. Laboured today, and I think it was very clear. All the conversations we've had in the past of that little bit of lack of cutting edge up front, we desperately need a striker. It all manifested itself, you know, on the pitch today. We saw it firsthand. So, yeah, weird one. Very happy to get the 3 points.
Oh, delighted. But I mean, that's why I start with how did you feel earlier on in the day, Andy? Because I feel like the players may have felt a little bit scrambled themselves, brain-wise. I always feel like Liverpool struggle when there is a kind of a lack of peril or a lack of impetus, and struggle against poorer teams. Let's not mince words. I think Leicester are the worst team in the league, and I thought that despite all the encouragement Liverpool at times gave them, I didn't see them scoring in a million years. So I sort of want to maybe give Liverpool a little bit of leeway, but I do think that Stu's right. It was an incredibly laboured performance, which had us in the first half, you know, at times listening to things people were saying around the room, and you could hear a pin drop in here in the Monro, and you know, at one point. I love this so much, by the way. At one point, the commentator said, "A minute added on," and a lady walking past the TV said, "What?" Because he thought we'd said something to it, but it was a funny moment. But it also summed up how bizarrely eerie the whole experience of certainly the first half and until the substitutes came on was. I mean, what did you make of it? How were your feelings before the game, and then as it sort of started to unfold?
Well, first of all, that was my highlight of the season. That was the funniest thing that has ever happened. Honestly, I was embarrassed because I was still giggling about it 25 minutes into the second half, and I didn't want you to see. I felt really bad because she then came back in to get her other drinks, and we were still laughing,
still giggling,
and I felt a bit hard-arsed at that point. But no. I suppose in terms of the atmosphere, if you're a supporter there, you get up at 7 o'clock this morning, you're on the coach down, you're having a few tins, whatever, and you go down thinking there's a possibility that we win the league, and for maybe 50% of that away end, they've never seen that before, in terms of being able to be there and celebrate it. So that's a bit of a mad feeling. You're obviously excited, you're sort of thinking, can Ipswich do something? Arsenal have gone to the well in Madrid in midweek. This is what I was telling myself, and then very clear 15 minutes into the Arsenal game that there was just that obvious gulf in quality between the two teams, which showed for 90 minutes. And obviously when they get the man sent off, I went to bed for an hour, I had a nap, got myself prepared for this. So
YouTube Press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. The best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need, every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.